How you doing? If you're someone that's dealing with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, this video is for you. There are too many people out there who believe that in order to get their diabetes or their A1C under control, they have to cut carbs. And I'm here to let you know that's not the truth. So come on in the room today. We're going to have a little bit of a breakfast and learn. We'll be having some mango, little protein shake. And we're going to be talking about how my clients are able to lower their A1C without starving and without stressing about it. Because as I mentioned, most people believe that they have to cut out all carbs in order to lower A1C. There are people that are afraid of eating mangoes, like this beautiful mango that I have right here in front of me. People are afraid to have this amazing fruit, and that's crazy to me. Yes, I'm gonna be licking my life a lot because I don't want to waste none of these juices. And I know it's probably not safe to lick knives, but I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a little vet in the game. So the truth is, most of my clients are able to eat more than what they were eating before. They just have to eat it in the right way. So there's a lot of bad advice out there for people with diabetes. They tell you avoid fruit, avoid starches. And that's just not true for a lot of different reasons. But first, let's talk about what the real issue is. Because most people think that diabetes is a sugar problem, when that's not the truth totally. Diabetes is an insulin sensitivity problem. What is insulin sensitivity, and why is that the problem that's causing diabetes? Well, let's start off with how the body processes sugar. And then we'll dive in a little bit deeper. So when you eat foods that have starches or carbohydrates, the body turns it into glucose. So now you have this glucose rushing through your bloodstream. But in order for that glucose to actually be used by the cell, it needs a partner. So the pancreas releases a hormone called insulin. And insulin acts like the shuttle bus for sugar. So imagine you just landed in a new city. That's the sugar landing in your digestive system. But in order for you to get from the airport to your destination, you're going to need to call, or let's take it even simpler. In order for you to get from the airport to your rental car so you can get around town, you need a shuttle. You ain't gonna walk over there. You typically take the shuttle to the rental location, you get your car. So think of insulin as the shuttle for sugar to take it now that it's landed in your body, and it's going to take it to the cells so the cell can use it and move it throughout the body, i.e. the city. So I hope that analogy helps you better understand insulin and its role. Because when your body becomes insulin resistant, that's when it becomes a problem. But insulin resistance is not caused by carbs alone. Insulin resistance is a layered situation. One of the top layers that causes insulin resistance is too much fat. It's called intramyocellular fat. This is the fat that's around the cells. So people with visceral fat, the fat around their stomach, around their organs, that's the fat that's really causing you the major problem. But also insulin resistance is created by too much cortisol in the body, which is another hormone, poor sleep, inflammation that plays a huge role, a huge and overlooked role in insulin sensitivity. So it's not the fruit that's the problem. It's not the rice that's the problem. It's not the bread. Now, you are going to eat right. If you are going to eat rice, make sure it's brown rice. You want to eat bread, make sure it's whole grain, not white. Because that stuff does turn to pure sugar. And now it makes the pancreas work more to create more insulin. But if you're already insulin resistant, which is the problem that we're discussing today, that doesn't do you any good. So let's dive a little bit deeper. Why are fruits not a problem? Like this mango right here. It's filled with healthy sugar. And it actually has fructose, glucose, and sucrose. But you know what it also has? It has fiber, has vitamin C, has phytonutrients. All of these things slow down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. Let me give you an example of a client of mine. Tiffany. No, let's not use Tiffany. Got a better example. Patty. Let's use Patty. Patty came to me she wasn't even in her 40s yet. If I remember correctly, Patty was just barely into her 30s. But her A1C was already out of control. And the doctors had her on metformin. For those of you familiar with blood pressure medications, metformin is one that they typically give you, but it creates weight gain and all these other side effects that actually hurt your insulin sensitivity. But anyway, let's get back to the story of Patty. Patty was frustrated. She's an esthetician living in New York, dealing with the cold. But because of the diabetes, she was running on low energy. So she wasn't fully able to serve her clients like she wanted to. And she was confused as to what she was supposed to eat. That did not make life easy for her. So how did we actually get things to turn around for her? First thing we did was address 3 major areas. The first one was how she ate. Yeah, we did make some changes, but it's not as drastic as you think. We focused on making sure that we ate foods, or that she ate foods, I should say, that reduced her inflammation and had tons of fiber to help slow down the absorption of the sugar into her bloodstream. The second step that we had to do was to remove the stress. That mango is delicious. Remove the stress that was keeping her cortisol levels high. Because when you have high cortisol levels, this also affects your insulin sensitivity. And then the last thing that we did, we lowered her insulin, or we improved her insulin sensitivity by getting her to move more, doing strength training. Because here's the thing. When you do strength training, you use a lot more energy. And it helps to reset your metabolism, which in turn helps to improve your insulin sensitivity. We didn't count macros. We didn't count calories. We didn't do this long fast. And eventually, she was able to get off her meds. 1 mango down, 2 to go. So what did we do? We focused on consistent meals, making sure that we started her day off with fat and protein, as well as carbohydrates. Then we made sure that all the foods that she ate were fiber rich to, again, improve her gut bacteria, reduce her inflammation, but also slow the absorption. And we calmed her system down, giving her breath work, journaling to help manage the stress that she was going on. We started off with some simple swaps for her. We got rid of the processed foods because she was an esthetician living in New York. She was relying heavily on processed foods and quick and convenient foods. That was really playing a huge role in the life that she had. Now, you've been listening this long. If you're someone who's dealing with type 2 diabetes, you're dealing with insulin sensitivity, and you want help, comment the word sugar. And I will send you a link so that we can book a call. I'm supposed to wash my hands, not with that towel. So give me a second, rinse my hands off. This was supposed to be my sweat towel, not my hand drying towel, but we're here now. So comment sugar. Boom. Boom. Pin comment. Okay. So we a bunch of people dropping sugar today. I love it. Now, somebody that just dropped sugar, please go check your messages and make sure that my automation is working. Because what should happen, you should get an automated message from me saying, hey, thank you, blah, 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 blah. Hit reply, yes. Somebody go check and make sure that it's working correctly before we go too far. So where was I? First thing we did was we focused on removing the processed foods. Then we focused on making sure fiber first in your meals. What do I mean by fiber first? Make sure that your meals are heavy with fiber. So that means tons of fresh whole foods. We're talking fruits, we're talking veggies, we're talking leafy greens. This mango is juicy. Jeez. I don't even want to cut it no more because it's making more juice come out. I'm type 1 diabetes. Why is it always type 2 diabetes? Great question. So the main reason, and most people talk about type 2 diabetes versus type 1 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle issue. That means that you're living in a way that your body is not using energy properly because you become insulin resistant. Now, with type 1 diabetes, that's actually a body issue because now your pancreas is not working properly to create the insulin. So you're insulin dependent. That's a difference than insulin resistant. So that's why most of the people, when they are speaking to healing diabetes, they speak to type 2 diabetes because it's a lifestyle issue that you can reverse the insulin resistance. If you are type 1 diabetes, that means that your pancreas is not working properly and you are not producing enough insulin or producing insulin at all. Hence, you are insulin dependent. And there's nothing that you can do that I have found through my research and studies to reverse type 1 diabetes. I hope that helps. What to do for constant hair loss? Not sure. We'd have to dive deeper into what's causing the hair loss. You're very welcome, Sam. Appreciate you for jumping in here. So for hair loss, I have to dive deeper into what's causing it. If that's something that's important to you, I would recommend you book a one-on-one health coaching session where we can dive deeper into what's going on with you and then give you some action plans to move forward. But today we're talking about diabetes and sugar. So let's stay a little focused there. So for my people that are dealing with this, I want you to understand one key message if you don't hear anything else that I said today. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You've just been taught to use a system that's broken. It's not you that's broken, it's the system. And if you want to build a better system for yourself, comment the word sugar, not sure. Let's unpin. Comment the word sugar. All right, now let's try this pending comment again. Okay, so comment the word sugar if you'd like to book a strategy session where we're going to go over what's going on with your health and help you create an action plan to move forward. And we can also discuss what coaching would look like if you need help. So if anything I've said today resonates with you, if it makes sense, if it's counter to the BS that you've been believing so far, comment the word sugar. And we'll book that strategy call and break everything down for you individually. So here's a quick recap for those that are just joining in. You do not have to rely on medications for the rest of your life if you've become a type 2 diabetic. My clients are coming off of their diabetes medication using my 6 pillars of health. We focus on detoxifying their life, improving their nutrition, improving their insulin resistance, properly hydrating, getting rid of stress, and all those other beautiful factors. So if you're someone who's been looking for a plan, who wants to be able to eat fruit, like I'm sitting here enjoying this mango, comment the word sugar. Because there's a lot of misinformation out there keeping you stuck. And I want to clarify that so that you're not stuck when you move forward in a healthy manner. So that's the live today. There's 11 of you. Who's got a question about diabetes or insulin resistance? No. So as far as my research has shown, type 1 diabetes cannot be reversed so far. I haven't seen any references of it. And I've done research to see how you can heal the pancreas. I haven't found anything that works yet. That doesn't mean that it's not out there or it doesn't exist. I just haven't come across it yet. But that's the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes is type 1 diabetes is the failing of the pancreas and it's not producing the insulin that you need. Whereas type 2 diabetes just means that you become resistant to that insulin. Any other questions? You're very welcome. I'm glad that I was able to help. Any other questions about diabetes, sugar, the different types of sugar? Because everybody thinks that all sugar is created equal, and it's not. The sugar in this fruit and this mango is not the same as if I went and ate a, some processed foods with sugar in it. Two totally different things. The sugar in this fruit comes in fiber, phytonutrients, micronutrients, all of the elements needed to improve insulin resistance, versus processed foods have no fiber, and the sugar is already in a processed form, so it's more easily absorbed into the bloodstream. So yes, you can't eat fruit when you're diabetic. Yes, it is perfectly healthy. Yes, you can have rice when you're diabetic. Yes, you can have potatoes when you're diabetic. The key is eating these foods with the proper amount of protein and fats to help slow down the absorption of those sugars into the bloodstream. And again, all sugar is not created equal. Yeah, that mango is so juicy, it didn't soak through my towel onto my pillow. Any other questions? If not, I'm gonna finish this last mango in silence. Anybody else got questions? As a matter of fact, out of all the people that commented the word sugar, did y'all check, like I asked, to make sure that the automated message was going out? Somebody that commented the word sugar, let me know if my automations are working correctly. And I got to keep a knife on me. I watched one of my friends eat a mango yesterday with no knife, just biting into it and peeling the skin. I still can't bring myself to do that. So I keep my knife. But also I'm a country boy, so keep a knife on me. All right, y'all ain't got no questions. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my breakfast. See you on the flip side. Peace. Lloyd!